Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean and this is TheFMEditor, episode 127 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Tuesday, wherever in the world that you are watching from. Now, quick shout out to a bunch of different people that have been very active in the comment section lately, especially Mr. McGinniester and David Barnett. Always great to get feedback, positive and negative. If there's anything you guys want to see, drop it in the comment section below. If you've got your own saves, let me know how they're going. I do respond to every single comment that I get as soon as I see it. There is sometimes a delay with time difference and work and all that other bullshit that I wish I didn't have to deal with. But the daily views, the week-on-week interaction, like, it's really appreciated. I do thank you all for your continued support. Now, as far as Isle of Man is concerned, we are into February now. We're getting into like kind of the crunch period and really need a good run of form. Thankfully, we have been doing a little bit better. We'll jump in the game and see how we've gone since the last episode. So as you guys can see here, just above my head, we're up into 7th spot, just into the, I think, Euro Cup 2 places. 26 games played, 14 wins, 4 draws, and 8 defeats in that time, plus 11 goal difference and 46 points. Level on points with Chelsea, but they've got a commanding goal difference, plus 29 is very impressive. And breathing down to next, we have swapped positions a couple of times throughout the course of the year. Leeds on 45 points themselves. Tactically, things have been going really well. The vertical tiki-taka style seems to be doing a good job for us. Of course, got this counter-attacking setup, fluid counter-attack we haven't really had to use so far this season. But it may be something that we might put in place for like the last 10 games or so, just to see how it goes as like an away trip if we do have European football. Maybe coming up with like an away style to try and get a goal away from home or defend a lead or something like that. And then of course an attacking vertical tiki-taka, which is doing the job for us quite well also. Now so far, February has been very good. We beat Watford 1-0, we beat Tottenham 2-0, we've got games against Wolves who are in 18th spot and Aston Villa who are in 17th today, both of whom are teams that we should be beating, and both games actually are going to take place at the FC Isle of Man Stadium. I keep forgetting to actually introduce you guys to the stadium in each episode, but it is finally open. We're back into Douglas for the first time playing Premier Division football in the Isle of Man, which is fantastic. DW Stadium in Wigan has been great for us, but there's nothing like playing in your hometown. We are at home for both fixtures, so we are going to go attacking in that style. We're going to go after it a little bit. We do have a positive structure to try and drop back to. Maybe if we're winning in the last 30 minutes, we might drop back to positive, play a little bit deeper and hope that they come out chasing a goal against us. Now, looking at the two lineups, we're of course going with Mancini in goal, Mokhtar and Esteban as the defensive partnership. Carlos Andre at left full-back. It's not necessarily the person I thought would play the majority of the season. I thought Medjugorje would play most of the time, but we just seem to be winning games when Carlos Andre plays, so he continues on that side. Cedron, our Argentine right-back, has now turned 21, so he's no longer a wonder kid, but still a very capable defender on that right-hand side. Arnaud Henry and Gary Lester, our two deep line playmakers at the base of midfield, has been a really good improvement for us. Lua Barbosa plays at the 10 as that attacking midfielder joining the attack. Teddy Bloor comes in on the left-hand side. Darren Peacock on the right, our two young English wingers. Larry Ortiz, the winger we have been using on the left, he's injured. He's going to be out for a couple more weeks as well. And Rivera leading the line as the advanced forward up top. Looking at Wolves, they've got a very strong lineup. Still got Ben Godfrey plugging away there. Looks like he's had quite the career as well. He was at Norwich for a while, then had a big money move to Arsenal in 2025. FM20 could be happy because I think there's some kick-on fees back to York whenever he gets a big money move. And then he's been at Wolves now for the last 3 seasons, 17.75 million. He's had a very good career. 45 caps for England during that time as well. Still a capable defender at 36 years of age. Very good technical attributes if you're looking for an English defender that you want to try and bring in and we'll get, like a good 10 years of service out of. They've also got Mohamed Hosseini. I've taken his face pack out, but he previously played for us a couple of seasons back. Just the 1 year when we were in the Championship, 41 appearances. He was, at the time, our best player in terms of star rating. He had an alright year. Played alongside Franz Wolf for most of the season. And was good enough that he got himself a £12 million move to Wolves, where they really did loan him out for the last 3 years, really. And then they've played him a little bit this season, 24 appearances and 1 goal to his name. Definitely one to keep an eye on. And the guy leading the line up top, Gavrilovic, 21-year-old Serbian forward on loan from Chelsea. He looks decent. Good dribbling attributes, good composure, some decent physical attributes as well. 6 goals in 21 for the season for the Wolves. We would hope that he maybe struggles a little bit today. Dressing room, we're going to passionately tell everybody. Media have given a lot of credit lately. Go out there and put on a worthy display. And everyone's responded positively. I'm going to quickly hit kickoff and then we're going to immediately pause because I want to look at this glorious new stadium. We'll go to TV camera first and just play through a little bit from kickoff here. You can see the corner there. We've got the big screen. We've got 2 full stands on either side, coming from like a team that was a park side that didn't really have any stadium seating when we first started down in Division 10 or Step 10 of the English Pyramid. It just looks really nice. We'll check this out as well in behind goal camera so we can see end to end. I think this is the away end behind that far goal. A lot of Wolves flags in there. Good chunk of orange in the stadium. Got vertical scrolling, which doesn't look too bad. Doesn't show you too much of the actual ground itself. A nice pitch side area there on the right-hand side. Immediately, Wolves have a strike, thankfully just wide of the goal. Data analyst view doesn't show you too much other than it looks complete. Like, it looks very symmetrical as a stadium. And director view, touchline looks great. The pitch markings look fantastic. The crowd is absolutely full. Really, what more could you ask for? So we'll go back to 2D Classic and we'll go back to key highlights. Good to finally have our new stadium up and running. First highlight of the game for us, Cedron throwing here finds Barbosa. Cedron with the ball back to Barbosa again. Cut back to Leicester. Can we try and hang a ball back stick? There's a couple of players there. Bloor is a tall guy. Into Peacock. Can we get the ball on the deck? In towards Rivera, but it's pinball back out to Henry. Now Bloor. We've got an overlapping fullback in Carlos Andre. We find him now on the left-hand side. Can he drag a defender and find the cutback? He's gone himself and gone the strike eventually. It pinballed around a little bit. Godfrey eventually, I think, got the last clearance in as it goes out for a goal kick. Chelsea down to 10 men against Brighton in their game, which is interesting for us. We might be able to go ahead of them on goal difference. On points. And Peacock has found the goal for us. It was a great deep ball from Henry there. And I think this might get ruled out. It is. Esteban pushed Husseina in the build-up. But we're through 30 minutes now. I've had a couple of highlights, but haven't found the back of the net. We're going to use our Get Creative shout. See if we can't push everyone forward a little bit further. Esteban with the ball now. Finds Cedron. A couple of yellow cards between the defenders there. We'll have to keep an eye on in the second half. Mokhtar now works it out left to Carlos Andre, where he could have worked a 2v1, but we didn't move it that quickly. Mokhtar now forward to Bloor. He's going to look to cut inside here in a moment. So he goes around the outside, shows the curse of the commentator, cuts back on his right foot and gets the strike away, but straight at Lucas Raphael in the Wolves goal. 1 minute of additional time to be added on. We have had the majority of the highlights and statistically doing quite well. 9 shots, 2 on target, 55% possession. The one thing you could say is maybe we need to take more advantage of our shots, get better strikes on goal. Passionately, we're going to say, I'm happy with the performance so far. Keep it up. We've had a couple of clear-cut chances that we've seen from the highlights there, but really we need to put our foot down a little bit here in the second half. And maybe if it does stay 0-0, we'll drop back to positive, try and drag them out a little bit. All right, first issue we've got here, Bloor has picked up a knock. So let's drop back to positive, just so that we're playing a little bit deeper, and then hopefully they will come out a little bit more. Bloor is injured. We might bring on Mejidou on the left-hand side just to see how he goes. I know he's a left-back by trade, but I think he's probably better suited. Oh no, we've got Jimmy Winter there. What am I talking about? Jimmy Winter can play it on that left. And then the other struggle we've got is that Barbosa's not having a great game. We might bring on Mariano Oru now. We'll make our subs in the 55 minutes a little bit earlier than normal, but we might just adjust the wingers as well just to play on support. So they're still getting forward, still getting to the byline, but hopefully not getting the ball too high up the pitch so that the defensive line for Wolves doesn't drop too far. We're also going to use our Get Creative shout with about 30 minutes remaining. It'd be very frustrating to not try and get a goal after being on top for the majority of the game. Winter with the ball now, fresh off the bench. He's found Rivera in behind. He's got a lot of work to do on this left-hand side. If he can find the finish, it's a good save from Raphael. Rivera gets there again, and then Astiz clears it into Raphael out for the goal kick. All right, I've got a wide free kick here. Henry looks towards back post. There's players in the box, and it looks like someone's gone down. We're going to see, we've given a penalty. Oru was shoved by Manning, so Oru has contributed just by winning a foul since coming off the bench. I don't think it counts as an assist. And Rivera, very good from the penalty spot. I think he's finally found his nerve. I think he missed like his first 2 penalties for the club, but that takes him to 11 for the season. And the young Mexican has done very well in his debut season, not just at the club, but in the Premier Division as well. Tough league for a young player to come into, and he has been fantastic all season. We do have one more sub up our sleeves. We might give it another minute here and then have a look at making that final change. And we might also use just to demand more shouts to try and give everyone some focus. Esteban coming forward with the ball now. Looks for Peacock. We've got an overlap on the right. Instead, he's gone Rivera again. And from the angle, Raphael with a good save. And then Rivera takes the touch he didn't need to. And lets the pressure off as it goes out for a goal kick. 10 minutes remain. We're just going to sort by rating. And Mancini hasn't had a great game. Leicester also struggled just a little bit. Maybe we make that change. Bring on Cambridge as a box-to-box. Just try and get some extra run in midfield for the last 10 minutes or so. Continue that press. And we use demand more as well, just to give everyone some focus through to hopefully the full-time whistle. If we get a sealer here, it might pretty much be the 3 points secured. Peacock now, Cedron. Can he wrap his foot around it? He's got Peacock square if he can find him. He looks for Cambridge fresh off the bench, who gets it straight back to Cedron to deal with again. Pinball's around. It's cut back towards Winter, who finds the finish. Jimmy Winter with his 3rd goal of the season. Proving to be a very valuable squad player this season, the young Scotsman. Really, I don't know if this is a negative on his part or a positive on his part. I can't really figure out if he's our right wing backup, our left wing backup, our number 10 backup. He can play all 3 positions, which is very, very handy. That versatility is super important when you've got relatively low funds or a relatively small squad, and an excellent finish there off the bench. 4 minutes of additional time to be added on. We're through the majority of that time now. The referee calls full time. In the end, a good 2-0 win at home. 18 shots, 9 on target, 57% possession. 5 shots, none on target, 43% of the ball for Wolves. We're going to passionately say, very happy with the result and the way that you played. A big 3 points. We'll check out other results to see where that might position us in the table as we battle with Chelsea and Leeds for those final European spots. Does see us go above Chelsea. They lost 3-1 when it got a man down very early on. Brighton scored 3 goals in the second half. McKinnon pulling one back for them as well. Looks like City also lost as well, so that kind of brings them in striking distance as well. And Liverpool do have a game in hand, but 52 points isn't miles away from us at this point. The big thing to call out, though, is that our goal difference is not as good as everybody else in the top 4. Leeds also lost. That helps us quite a bit. Bournemouth had a win. They jump back up, so it is still very tight, but at least we are starting to get a bit of a points margin with this handy run of fixtures. Injury worry for Blore. Looks like he might be out for a little while, which might mean Jimmy Winter comes in for the next game. Jose Cedron, 7.7 match rating, the best player on the park for the day. Blore's going to be out for a little while. We're going to send him to a specialist, and I'm going to give him a little bit of praise. Don't worry about your injury. A dislocated shoulder, you'd think it won't stop him from doing too much like running and cardio work. But you never can tell. Actually, while we're here, I should have introduced you to this guy earlier. Selhatin Berber, the one signing that we made in January. He joins us for £11 million from Fenerbahce. He'd previously been on loan at Hamburger and was playing Champions League football prior to us picking him up. What I didn't figure out, and probably should have figured out if I was a good manager and not a stupid person, is that he's already played for 2 clubs in this calendar year, which means we can't actually play him until the end of the season. So he will probably come in, and I'm hopeful. He's got only 19, Turkish international, relatively good tributes across the board, lots of double figures and stuff in there for a player so young, and he can be a wingback on defend, which is what we want. I'm hopeful he'll turn into a wonder kid maybe with the season under his belt, but the fact that we're not able to play him this year is probably going to stunt his development just a little bit. But he's here training, he's here working on everything. It sucks that I'm a stupid person and shouldn't have signed him in the first place, but that's the scenario and situation that we're in. We've got a couple of changes to make. Magic of editing though, we're going to jump forward to the game against Aston Villa and look at the 2 squads. Alright, just like that, we are a week ahead now. We have had to make one change. The suspension to Cedron at right back has left us a little bit threadbare in that, and Berber not being able to play for this season is very frustrating. Carlos Andre will move across. He can't really do this right-hand side role, but I'm going to ask him to do a job for me. He's been excellent all season. I'm hopeful we can just kind of get through it, and fingers crossed, Banis, their left winger here, being 31 years of age and a little bit on the slower side, will make it a little bit easier for us to deal with so that we don't get too overwhelmed. It does mean Medjugorje comes in at left wing back, and Jimmy Winter will get the start with Blore now injured as well. Ortiz still a couple of weeks away, but I'll put him on the bench just in case anything goes horrifically wrong. Otherwise though, Henry, highest average rated player for the season. Peacock, leading assist maker. Rivera, leading scorer. A very strong lineup on our end. Aston Villa playing a very flat 4-4-2. They've still got a couple of holdouts from the original database. Ellery Balcom, 34 years of age now. Looks like he's had a decent career for Aston Villa for a good few seasons. Was at Southampton prior to that, and Brentford at the start of the save. A decent young English goalkeeper if you're like a championship side or a lower Premier Division side that you're trying to push up a little bit further in the league. Taylor Harwood-Bellis from Man City's academy, still playing at the back there, only 32 years of age. Looks like he's had quite a decent career as well across a few different Premier Divisions clubs in his second stint at Aston Villa now. Banis, already clicked on him a minute ago. Feyenoord youngster, by the looks of things, 31 years of age now. He was at Feyenoord for a couple of seasons, then at Lille, which might have actually been a loan if we look at his history here. Yeah, it looks like he was on loan and at Feyenoord all the way through up until this year, where he's moved to Aston Villa for 6.5 million. A very loyal servant in the Eredivisie. Campagna leading the line up top, a very good goal scoring player if you're looking for one. He's at Barcelona in Ecuador at the start of everyone's database. Very solid, complete forward. What did Villa actually pay for him? Only £1.6 million, and they've still got him playing up front 13 seasons later. And alongside him, interestingly, João Felix, who I don't think quite hit the heights that a lot of players or a lot of teams probably thought he would. Of course, starts out at Atletico Madrid, that big money move from Benfica. Had a couple of good seasons for them. Really, probably his best one was here, 2021, 7.49 average rating. And then he moved to Man City, £114 million. Didn't quite hit the same level. And he's been at Barcelona as well during that period before. Villa actually picked him up on a free at 34 years of age. Doesn't look like he got that many opportunities at Barcelona, if I'm being completely honest. But still, he'll have some talent about him playing up top. I'm hopeful we can continue our good run and get, potentially a perfect February. Passionately, we're going to say, great opportunity to show the pundits have all been right to back you up, and everybody's responded positively to that. Let's kick on a little bit, lads. Let's put the foot down and slam some goals into the back of the net. These are the sort of games we need to be scoring a few in to try and catch up to Chelsea's superior goal difference. Ortiz, now to Villar. Good press there from Winter. You got to touch on it just for a minute. Sends it all the way back to Healy, the centre-back. Liversedge into midfield. Now Harwood-Bellis, they're not shy playing it side to side. Now they look for Bannis in behind. This is where we have to be careful, this left-hand side. Campagna back to Bannis, and he's found the goal. Is the fact that we're playing with a backup right back and a player that can't really play in that position going to hurt us throughout the course of this one? I'm not sure who it was that missed their interception there, but we'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. It's just poor positioning. I don't know why, because Carlos Andre's been so good on the left-hand side. Why would the right-hand side be any different from a positioning perspective? But it's a good strike, low and hard into the far corner. Keeper dove, but dove over the top of the ball. And Aston Villa, perhaps against the run of play, take an early lead, and now they've got a goal to defend. I'm curious if maybe we should drop back down to just positive, because they're going to be dropping off a little bit. We want to try and drag them out as much as possible and get some space in behind. Ball in behind here for Bannis again. Carlos Andre wins it back that time and goes back to Mancini. It nearly crosses the line. We're going to check out this one. It's never actually crossed the line in any of those highlights I've ever seen. All right, still a goal down, 30 minutes played. We need to get creative. We haven't seen any highlights really on our end. Here we go. Corner though. Peacock to take it on the right-hand side. Looks towards back post. Healy with the header away. Barbosa should recover. Brings in Peacock again. Back to Barbosa with the strike. Second goal of the season for Lua Barbosa. Playing in that attacking midfield role. You'd think maybe we want more production out of him, but he has been very good, and I should take team results have been very good when he's played in that position. Does very well here. Peacock gets it back, cuts it back to him. Once he's got time to get his head up, get the strike. It's a very good effort, low and hard across the keeper on the left-hand side. And we get parity on half-time, but we really need to try and find a go-ahead goal. There should be a free kick from distance here. It's going to be Henri to take, about 25 yards out. David Beckham territory for the old-school viewers. And instead, he's clipped it against the wall. It's bounced back to him, and at the first time of asking, he snaps in a half strike. We'll check this one out here in 3 dimensions. It looks to be an excellent effort. Henri with the initial strike from the wall actually comes back off them, and then he just leathers that one into the right hand side. Keeper committed way too early. Once it clipped the wall, it meant that whole left hand side was wide open, and a very good turnaround from the boys. 2-1 up. Barbosa, Henri with the goals. 8 shots, 4 on target, 50% of the ball. 3 shots, 2 on target, 50% possession for Aston Villa. Passionately, we're going to say, pleased with how things are going. Keep it up, and everybody has responded perfectly, which is exactly what we want. We don't have that deeper bench today, so it's probably going to make some of our substitution decisions for us in that respect. Healy with the ball here, very deep for Aston Villa. We've got to remember we're only 1 goal up. They've scored once. If they score again, we might be in a spot of bother. Ball out now to Ortiz, who skips past the challenger Medjadu, and he's gotten goal side, and it's pinballing around, and Mokhtar thankfully gets back pretty much the last line of defence there, clears it out for the corner. I don't know what Mancini was doing. He came flying out there and got caught behind the ball. Leicester with a good header away. Peacock sends it up the line. Rivera is not interested in chasing it though. And as we get through the hour mark, let's have a quick look at our subs. I think we're going to try and mix it up at wing back. Might bring Carlos Andre to this left-hand side where he's a bit more comfortable, and put Medjadu over on the right, who hasn't had a good game playing in his preferred position. Esteban has also struggled, but we don't have many defenders available and fit on the bench at the moment. Rivera hasn't had a great game. Might bring on Scott Phillips just to lead the line up top, some fresh legs, hopefully giving them a bit of a challenge. And the other one, Jimmy Winter, also hasn't had the greatest game. I might hold off on that sub, and maybe we give it another 10 minutes before we look at making our second one. I have faith in you, make the difference, and then let's also use our get creative shout. I said at the start of the game that we want to try and get as many goals as possible, but in reality, like if they're causing us some issues and we are playing a little bit understaffed in defence, maybe it's just best that we try and focus on getting the 3 points. Jimmy Winter, Barbosa and Henri can exchange good passes. Now Phillips in the box, and it's a good tackle, a good recovery challenge there from whoever that number 2 is for Aston Villa. Looks like it's Villa on the right-hand side. Peacock with the corner, towards back stick. Pinballs around, and Henri again with another goal. I think it's a wonderful knockdown header from Gary Lester there. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions, but Henri, would you believe, is just about, I think, if he hits this left-footed, I think he's about to be on a perfect hat-trick if he can get a header. Oh no, it actually didn't hit Lester. I thought it was a great knockdown header, but it just hit the defence again, and Henri, thankfully, aware to it, good technique, smashes that one into the back of the net. All right, we might make another sub. Peacock's got a knock, which we have to be wary of. Maybe I'll move Winter over for Peacock. Maybe I'll bring Ortiz on. Ortiz isn't fully fit either. So we have to be wary that we don't push him too hard too early in this season. And I'll hold off on that last sub. We'll make it in the last 10 minutes or so. Another highlight here, left-hand side. Carlos Andre to start from the throw. Looks for Barbosa, who moves into good little half spaces. Ortiz cuts it back, and that was the chance for Henri. Got a good knockdown from Phillips, but straight at the goalkeeper. Balcom does well to save and hold. And the highlights continued here. Ortiz on the left-hand side. Goes past Carlos Andre like he wasn't even there, and he's getting back inside. Someone's got to close him down. Mancini with an excellent save. Campagna with the follow-up. Medjadu does win it back briefly, but Campagna gets a couple of bites of the cherry, and then Medjadu gives away the foul, which isn't great positioning. We do have that 2-goal margin now, which is great, but still, want to try and keep a clean sheet. Ortiz back stick. Mancini reads it well, comes out and claims. All right, let's make that last sub. Leicester hasn't had the greatest game. We're going to bring on David Cambridge. He can play as a box-to-box. The game seems to be opening up just a little bit. Maybe some fresh legs will do the trick for us. We use our demand more shout as well. Hopefully a few focus. There's a couple of complacent and pressured players in there. But in reality, we should be able to get through the remaining few minutes. Majdu gets a yellow card, so it's going to be a deep free kick here for Villa. Late on, Liversidge to take. Backstick towards Joe. It's pinballing around. Andre pinballs again. It falls to Healy, the centre-back. And then he cuts it back. And Liversidge from the edge of the area, straight at Mancini. I don't know what was going on there. A lot of players ball watching as that ball was kind of pinballing around. Thankfully, Villa not able to find the finish. Mancini looks to go long towards Phillips. He's good out of the air. Oh, he let it run there. Healy went through the back of him. I thought maybe Phillips might turn and be through on goal, but instead, we're going to have a deep free kick. Healy gets away with a warning. We're going to see this free kick before the game ends. It's going to be Henri to take for the hat-trick if he can find from distance. He's looked towards back post, but no one anywhere near it as it goes out for the goal kick. Surely referee, that's the end of the game as he calls full time. In the end, we had 17 shots, 8 on target, 49% possession, 8 shots, 5 on target, 51% of the ball. A 3-1 victory. Very impressive, very important for us. Very pleased with the performance, lads. And for the first time in a while, we're absolutely perfect. Oh, February, perfect month. I don't think we've had one of those in a very long time. Very worthy of a chef's kiss. It does see us go up in a 6th spot. We are now level on points with 5th place Liverpool, but again, they have a far superior goal difference, plus 22 versus plus 15. Leeds, maybe the wheels have come off for them a little bit. They lost 3-0 to Tottenham, but it is a very strong Tottenham team. And Southampton just smashing the division this year. Up in a 2nd spot, 28 games played. I don't think anyone's catching Man United. I think they're probably scheduled to win their 4th consecutive division title, which is just mind-boggling. But as far as the race for European football is going, we're doing very, very well. Well, very, very well, I should say, if I can get rid of the hiccups. Henri with his double gets the Man of the Match award. Peacock's injured. He's going to be out for a couple of days, which is good. Henri, 2 goals. We will give him some praise passionately. Superb in front of goal last time out. And he, of course, responds positively. And that makes it 5 straight victories for us. And 4 of those clean sheet wins, which is always fantastic to see. Manchester United win the Carabao Cup, which is why they've probably played a game less. And looking forward at our schedule, I think what we'll do is we're going to jump past these games against Chelsea, even though they are our tightest division rival. We're going to play away against Arsenal. And this might be where we test out that counter-attacking shape and formation, because it is a very different Arsenal team. It's Diego Simeone's side, so they play like this 4-4-2 that's very aggressive. I think maybe if we try and counter-attack, we might drag, their fullbacks forward and get ourselves in 1v1 situations. And then we're also going to play, I think, the game against Leeds is the other one in tomorrow's episode. It is a home fixture. It is a real opportunity to, I think, potentially put ourselves like 6 or 7 points clear of Leeds in the race for European football. So a very important fixture, and hopefully we can get through these games against Chelsea with our form intact. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the portion that I appreciate the most. If you wanted to go that extra mile, do that extra little bit for the channel, for the content, help the community grow a little bit, you can drop a like on this video. Gets us higher in YouTube search results when people look for Football Manager content, or you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release in the build up to FM21. More than anything though, like I said at the start, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.